Welcome back to another episode of the Oscar Bourbon Cabin. Connor called me about this one. It's a rare moment where we drink a lot of bourbon, we review bourbon, so you get so overwhelmed with so many bourbons. Usually it's not a call. It's a hey, look what I got when you come over to their house, right? This one was a phone call, and I'm glad it was. It's very exciting. What is it, Connor?
We have got for you guys Maker's Mark Cellar Aged,
which up here in Alaska, I can't believe you got your hands on this.
I am so stoked to be able to have my hands on this bottle. I have seen, and I'm sure there's a couple up here, I'm sure there's somebody that's paid secondary for them. I have seen one other bottle of a guy that I know for a fact paid secondary because I talked to him about it, and he's like, no, I'm just, like, I gotta get it up there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
This is the first, they weren't in any of our year-end raffles for the stores. They weren't in any of the allocation lists that I saw. I have seen zero posts
Not
about
a
them.
damn thing about Maker's Mark Cellar. Not a thing.
And we've got one. We've got one right here.
It was previous. You saw the seal popped. That's because Connor's a generous man, and samples have already been given because it's that exciting. I have not tasted it. Have you tasted it?
No.
So
in typical fashion, guys, and we are a big proponent of this. We push this. We practice this. We don't pay secondary, and we open everything, guys. I understand if you want to collect. I understand if you have backups. I understand if there's something sentimental.
that is part of the bourbon world, and there's nothing wrong with it. But here at the cabin, if you buy the bottle, you open and you try it.
Right, and if you guys ever come to visit, like, it'll be on the shelf if you want to try it, and that's
nothing's off limits here.
No, that's just the way we practice. So because of that, when I had the opportunity to buy this bottle, the first thing I did was pour them samples. That way they could.
Their lucky day, I guess.
Oh,
yours too, right?
I hope they
luck
think
all around.
so. Yep.
Give one sample, you'll get two.
Yep.
That's kind of philosophy here.
So the 2023 Cellar Aged coming out of Maker's Mark, 115.7 proof, a blend of aged barrels. 13% whiskey was aged 11 years, 87% was aged 12. So I guess technically an 11-year age statement on this guy. Now I don't know what MSRP on this bottle was. When they told me what I was paying, I was like, oh, that feels like it's a little steep, but it's way cheaper than what secondary was, and it's still Alaska pricing.
And I've heard prices like $750 floating around there for secondary.
Yeah.
Let us know what you've seen out there. Look, if a bottle's worth it to you, it's worth it to you, but always be careful buying secondary.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what MSRP was. Again, to be honest, I didn't think any of it was going to come up here, so I didn't really look much into it price-wise. Mm-hmm. But I paid $200.
Okay, all right. I've bought probably worse bottles for more money. It happens. All right.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. It's dark.
It's good color.
Yep.
That definitely smells like 11 years old.
It does.
It's very subtle. Like it's been sitting in that barrel.
It does not come off as new.
No, I get kind of a dusty cellar. I hate to say cellar.
There's a moistness to
There's a moist. It's a dampness, like you go visit your grandmother in Oklahoma and you go down to her root cellar. It smells like a root cellar.
Yeah. Like a cavern.
It's weird. It smells moist, right?
Yeah, it does smell moist. And not like fungally, algae-y.
No, just...
Not like bat guano.
So, I grow a couple peonies, and we have a cooler for the flowers. And it kind of gives me that smell, kind of like a moist, fresh, planty.
Yeah, refrigerated.
Refrigerated. So, are you getting anything past that, though?
So, I'm getting a little flowers and a little cinnamon.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I said flowers. You said flower.
I said flowers.
I meant to say fruit, not flowers. I'm getting a little fruity and a little cinnamon.
I got to reset because now I'm confused between fruit and flower.
Or maybe nutmeg. Maybe because cinnamon didn't quite. Maybe nutmeg, baking spicy.
Okay, yeah, I can't say cinnamon, but you could convince me. Nutmeg and absolutely baking spice.
Yeah,
and,
for sure baking spice.
And
It's
I
like
do.
cardamom.
I don't know if I'd quite go red fruit, but I'd go. I don't know if it's apple or
Okay, so I'm
like a lighter red fruit, not like cherry or raspberry, but I could go.
right, like green crisp. Apple. Yeah.
All right, we're
Like
gonna
crab apple. Like an Alaska crab apple. It's
Oh.
like this big.
Sour. Wow, immediate sweetness on that, and then it quickly diminishes for me.
The sweetness goes away fast.
Fast.
It's viscous. It coats
Very
the mouth. Yeah, that sweetness, it hammers you up front, and then that it dies fast, sweetness wise.
Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The first sip, I was like, "Whoa." I don't know. Second sip, I'm in love. It has a.
Now it carries through the whole way, from the front to the back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You could drink that with your nose plugged. It still carries through the whole way. I get a.
It drinks its proof.
Yeah, no, it's warm.
Yeah. You picking out a flavor there?
I'm trying. It's complicated.
This is one of those, we talk about those ones that you need to sit and drink a few glasses of, and you can keep chewing and picking out flavors. This is one of those that
Yeah.
we're going to have to keep getting at.
This might be one we have to do a second review on, because it almost feels like a disservice to try to digest it in a 10-minute video, but we'll try.
Now, you do get, we were talking green apple. That, I don't know if tannin's the right word, but that dryness, for me, I get mid-palate. So it's like at the middle of my tongue on the outsides, it's like they want to squeeze in.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of like a crab apple almost. Has that pucker effect.
Yeah. It's so good you crying over there.
Wrong pipe.
Inhaling the Maker's Mark.
Yeah,
Right?
already inhaling it.
Oh, man. So, guys, while we're picking out a few more flavors here, let us know if you've had this. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know, did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you...
And, you know, right before this video was filming, I was talking to Connor, and I said, you know, Makers it's one of those few brand, well, not few, there's quite a few out there. But I haven't had a Makers I was ever disappointed in. And that, I'm going to say, holds true through this bottle. I'm enjoying it.
So I am too. To try to be completely honest here, I will say, I do think, or am afraid of, or do think that if you blinded this with the Maker's Mark 46 cask strength, which we are fans of.
Big fans. If you haven't, check out it made the top five. It was the top winner of whiskey in the Bourbon Cabinet
Yeah.
year.
That flavor profile really blends with our palates, and I think that 50% of the time we would probably pick the Maker's Mark 46 cask strength over this.
I would agree. At
$50 a bottle versus $200 a bottle.
And it's hard not to factor that in when reviewing. We don't try to sometimes.
Yeah.
But
there's a little comparison there. You
have to compare it. And you're right. It's if I can go pick up that 46 cask strength for $50, I would. Hands down over the $200 bottle.
Yeah.
That being said, it's still
Now the nose
good.
is phenomenal.
The nose is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could make a candle out of that.
Yeah. I want my cologne to smell like this. Although I guess I don't need my armpit smelling moist. It's called BO.
Damn.
Damn. Okay, guys.
It's quite good. If anything, it might be a little too overcomplicated. I mean, I don't know if I can review this in one video. It's
No, and I will say, like, guys, for me, it's a buy, partially because of the limited allocatedness behind it. I would probably pass on another bottle of 2023 to let somebody else get one.
Yeah.
Will I look for it if they do a 2024 release or however? I don't know the actual plans for them. If they do a next year's release so I can have consecutive years, will I hunt for that? I will. But I will say, when you look at some of the other annual releases of some of the big things like the birthday bourbons and I will say some of the BTACs, not all the BTACs, but some of the BTACs, Maker's Mark has to be careful here to not turn into a hundreds of dollars of bottle.
It's true.
That you can in turn really just get for $50 in a cask strength version. I'm hearing a lot about the birthday bourbon and Old Forester.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, there's too many bourbons out there already that are in the $100 range because it's X amount old or whatever. And why this is fun, and I recommend it because it's very interesting to try what makers can make when it gets up to 11 to 13 years. It's interesting and it's good. It's not why I love makers, and I'm okay to continue this, but I hope they also continue with the cask strengths and they often do winter blends as well. And
they do the private blends
Yeah.
and guys, it's a fun annual release. I would say, if you found it at MSRP, buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not hunting backups, and I'm not.
And don't pay secondary for it.
No,
I can't say it's worth that.
No, absolutely do not pay secondary for this. So, well, there you have it from the Bourbon Cabin. We're kind of mid-range about it, not overly joyed, kind of accepting of it. So.
Yeah, I can't immediately say buy it, but I can't say I'm going to chew on it. Yeah. We might have to visit it again. Is it worth buying if you see it? I won't repeat what Connor just said, but I agree with it.
Well, there you have it. Maker's Mark 2023 Cellar Aged.
See you next time.
Have a good night.